Driving at night can be dangerous, tiring, and even scary. But with the right lighting equipment on your vehicle, you can make it a whole lot easier.
That's right, adding a good set of fog lights or driving lights can really make a big improvement over your stock headlights.
Actually, one of the first things you want to do before deciding on auxiliary lights is make sure that your stock headlights are aimed properly.
That's pretty simple. Many of the latest vehicles have aiming devices built right in that show you if the lights are adjusted properly. Usually, it's a combination of a bubble level and pointers that indicate the up and down and side-to-side position of the lights.
Look in your owner's manual and it'll tell you exactly how your particular system works and how to adjust it if you need to.
Make sure your vehicle is on a flat, level surface before checking the aim. And remember, if you're going to be carrying a heavy load or towing a trailer, you'll probably need to readjust your lights when you add that extra weight.
If you don't have built-in aiming systems on your headlights, all you need to do is find a wall with a flat level surface in front of it. Park facing the wall so that your headlights are 25 feet from it and turn on your low beam headlights. The light patterns of headlights on different vehicles can vary quite a bit, but the guidelines are still the same.
The top center of the high-intensity portion of the beam should hit the wall about 3 to 4 inches below the center line of the headlight of your vehicle. The light beam should also point about 1 inch to the right of that center line.
That's a worthwhile check, even if your vehicle does have built-in aiming devices. Most of today's cars and trucks don't have separately aimable high beams and low beams, so once you've got the critical aim of the lows, the highs will also be in the right position.
If you do have high beams that you can aim separately, switch them on against the same wall. They should point straight ahead, with the top of the high-intensity portion of the beam about 1 inch below the center line of the light's height on the vehicle.
Now that your headlights are aimed properly and you're getting their maximum performance, it's time to start thinking about your need for auxiliary lights.
A lot of people talk about fog lights and driving lights as being the same. Well, they're absolutely not. They have very different purposes and give very different results when they're used.
A fog light gives off a wide, flat-topped beam that's designed to supplement your low beam headlights. It widens your field of view and brightens the area near the vehicle. They are not for improving long-distance vision.
That's where driving lights come in. They're designed to throw light further down the road than your standard headlights on high beam. And there's also lights designed to supplement low beams that can put more light on the road without blinding the other drivers.
There's just so much to talk about when it comes to lighting that this week we're only going to talk about lights that you use with your low beam headlights, and then next week we'll talk about lights to supplement your high beams.
First off, let's talk about fog lights. The flat top of the fog light beam is what keeps it from reflecting glare off the fog, dust, snow, or rain back into your eyes. And the wide beam gives you a better view of the edges of the road and around curves.
That wider, brighter view you get with a good set of fog lights makes driving on low beams easier and less fatiguing. The sharp, flat cutoff at the top of the beam also means that a properly aimed fog light can be used, even in clear weather, to supplement your low beams without blinding other drivers.
Properly aimed are definitely the key words here. Park your vehicle 25 feet from the same wall that you use to aim your headlights. The tops of the fog light beams should be about 3 to 4 inches below the center line of the actual lights, just like your low beams.
And the beam should be straight ahead and parallel to the ground. Remember that if your vehicle has factory fog lights, these same rules still apply. It's been my experience that most factory fog lights are not properly aimed, even on brand new vehicles, so check the adjustments.
By the way, if your vehicle comes with auxiliary lights from the factory, they're virtually 100% guaranteed to be fog lights and not driving lights. It doesn't matter what the shape of the lens is or what color that lens is.
That's right. Color has nothing to do with whether a lamp is a fog light or a driving light. There are clear and yellow versions of both types. Color choice really comes down more to personal preference than performance difference.
There's usually less perceived glare with yellow, but some types of yellow lights can transmit less light than a comparable white one.
However, it's generally agreed that a yellow or amber color makes your vehicle easier to see in heavy fog or snow conditions, particularly in the daytime.
Another way of improving your view with low beam headlights is to use a supplemental low beam or mid-beam light. These generally brighten the area covered by your low beams while giving you a wider, longer view of the road.
Just as with a good fog light, you want very little upward glare from a supplemental low beam light. Otherwise, you'll be blinding and annoying other drivers.
And again, aim is very important. You want these lights to be the same 3 to 4 inch drop against the wall as the fog lights and the low beams.
I find these types of lamps especially great for use on divided highways when you can't use your high beams because of other traffic. They can really improve your view without blinding anyone else.
Fog lights and supplemental low beams are very useful in all kinds of weather, but we don't recommend using them in clear weather on narrow, unlit two-way roads when approaching traffic. In most other situations, though, they're fine.
You should be able to tell exactly where the beams are aimed, and they shouldn't be anywhere near anyone's eye level on a flat road. If people flash high beams at you when you're using them, your lights are aimed too high, or they don't have the kind of precise beam control that a good quality light provides.
Next week, Mike and I will be talking about driving lights and mounting and wiring your auxiliary lights, so make sure you're with us.
We'd like to thank IPF, Hella, and KC Highlights for providing some of the lights used in today's segment.